Pretty privilege is such a polarizing topic because there's a lot of advantages, but also disadvantages. One can argue that it can open a lot of doors for you, along with you receiving better social treatment, right? But then one can also argue that it would challenge your intelligence, while also people are less likely to really appreciate your personality. Today, we're going to be talking about how Elle Woods broke the stereotypes while also proving that you can be more than just a pretty face. What is up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Rehinge Diaries podcast with your host, Ali Garza. So today I am bringing you a lovely pop culture based episode, and this will be released after Halloween. So if you're wondering, okay, bitch, what the fuck are you wearing? Like, what is this? Honestly, I wish I could tell you. Like, I have this like pink bodysuit type of thing, and I was gonna get the ears and just be out, obviously with the iconic bunny costume. But I'm like, do I have the will to really get the bunny ears, which is probably the only thing I needed to really complete this outfit? Because y'all are not seeing what's under here. No, bitch, I don't have the will to do that. So what I did is honestly even more insane because these rollers took two fucking hours of my life of frustration to even put on my head. And it's like I could have just got the ears and called it a fucking day. But you know, I like to make things harder for myself because it builds character development. It makes me funnier and it gives me struggle. I can't just have everything perfect, you know? So there's that. The gangs, oh, here. I just really wanted to give off like a slumber party kind of vibe. Like I'm your slumber party storyteller sister, hermana, or I don't know. Like, I really don't know what to say what this outfit is. Can someone comment down below and you come up with a really intelligent I don't know, describe what the fuck this is so that I can claim it on my Instagram. Yeah. Anywho, that's what we have today. If you haven't seen already from the title, I am gonna be giving you guys a continuing of the series of pretty privilege, but the beautiful side. Because we talked a little too negatively about the topic. Let's talk about the benefits and the positives of pretty privilege and how to use it correctly. And what better example could we use than Elle Woods? I feel like she was the perfect person that really represented who knew how to use it to her advantage and just really thrived off of it. Because I feel like we've seen with all the people we talked about on this podcast channel and stuff like that, we've seen how people fell into the dark side of what that comes from. Whereas we should talk more about the positive and how anyone listening or watching, you can use it to your benefit. How you can be an Elle Woods or just be your own bad bitch. So without further ado, let's talk about how Elle Woods used pretty privilege to her advantage. So of course we gotta start off from the beginning. Before I even get into everything, y'all, aren't y'all proud of me? I typed up all of my notes, you guys. I used to write it down and it used to be covered in stains. Well, it kind of still is. There's like lipstick stains on it, but I typed it up, you guys. Okay, how fancy am I? But yeah, without further ado, Elle Woods. At first glance, Elle appears as someone that's like an airhead. She's a blonde bimbo who comes off as this ditzy girl with her pink outfits, her blonde hair, and her Southern California attitude. The whole plot of the entire movie is she's under the impression that she's going on this dinner date with her partner and that he's going to propose, which ironically they go onto this date and he dumps her because he's like, oh my God, I'm about to go into law school and you were fun. Like you were fun, you were exciting, but that's all that you are. Like he basically was just saying to her face, you're not wifey material at all. Like you're there for a good time, not a long time, which is what he was basically saying. And he also further elaborated by saying, oh, he wanted to be the successful senator and that he cannot see her fitting into that lifestyle. And I feel like any other bitch in that position would have really internalized that to the fullest capacity of what's wrong with me, why am I not good enough, like questioning their self-worth. But oh no, bitch, she did the opposite. She said, watch me. And The thing that really was frustrating to me, like obviously as a kid, like you don't really know better because this shit came out 2001, y'all. I was a fetus. I'm 25 now, but I was born in 1999, girl. Like I was a fetus when this shit came out. But the thing that's so crazy to me is the entirety of this film, they want you to perceive Elle Woods like she's a fucking dumbass. Like she's this dumb blonde who's very incompetent and only cares about being hot and partying. But it's like she was the head of the UCLA sorority Delta Nu, and she showcased her like intense discipline. Like the scenes that it's very iconic. There's so many TikToks about it of her studying to even pass the admission test to get into law school, Harvard at that. It's like, could a dumb bitch really do that? Like, let's really talk about it. Could a dumb bitch really do that? You really want you to perceive her as this dumbass when it's like she sat there studying really, really hard, got 170 on the admission test, combined with her 4.0 GPA, which that is impressive. It's like, give the girl some credit. Thing that I feel like isn't talked about enough when it comes to the film is the fact that when it comes to Elle Woods, it's like there's something that really does radiate the highest form of self-confidence is if you're not afraid to fail. You're not afraid to look stupid in front of a lot of people when you're learning something new. Because of course, there's this girl who came from California who was very wealthy, was very, very pink, very bimbo-y, going into Harvard, law school. It's like, of course, she's completely out of her element. In the beginning, as we can see throughout the film, she struggles to connect with everyone. She, struggles with the social cues, and it's very fucking awkward. One can argue, oh my God, like, there's a couple scenes where it's even secondhand embarrassment. You're like, bitch, I would have to pass away. Like, throw me into my fucking pink casket. But for her, there's something that radiates such high self-confidence where she's like, okay, I looked a little stupid, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going because I have a point to prove. And I think that's so fucking that is so sexy and so fire for you to really be like, bitch, regardless of how stupid I am, regardless of how embarrassing this might come across, I got a point to prove. And Lord, did she prove it. But let's keep going. The thing that really broke my heart, and even the character herself, Reese, who came out to talk about this really devastating scene where she was in that, bunny costume, realizing, oh my God, to, this guy, like, oh my God, like, I am never going to be good enough for you.
There's a moment in the middle where she looks at her boyfriend who's dumped her and said, you're not serious wife material for me. And she goes in the bunny costume and all the girls are making fun of her at the Halloween party. And she turns to him and she said, I'm never going to be good enough for you, am I? And she starts to cry. I mean, it makes me want to cry now. But we've all had that moment where you're across from a romantic partner. You're like, I'm not the girl. I'm not your girl, am I? Oh, okay. I got to be my own self. Now I'm going to be my own self. Bye.
And I'm enough.
And I'm enough.
Enough for who I am.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. And it makes me cry now.
Yeah.
I even think about it. But that was such a huge thing that we got on film.
Like, there's nothing, like, I literally got into the same school as you. And you still don't deem me as wifey material. Like, that's crazy. Because your argument was, oh, like, I am not going to fit into your lifestyle, that I'm not smart enough. But we took the same test and I'm in the same fucking building as you. So how dumb am I really, He just did not respect her. And I feel like that's a whole conversation within itself. That man can sit there and try to come up with an excuse on why they don't fucking like you. If they don't like you, don't let them further elaborate on why they don't like you. Because at the end of the day, you're going to realize it's not about you. It's just they don't hold the capacity to hold someone so great. And it was just so sad because for her, you can see her really be like, oh my God, I really got into Harvard Law School and I'm still not good enough for you. And, she really could have sat there and left. She could have really sat there and said, okay, well, Shawty don't want me. I already proved my point, so I can just leave. She said, no, I gotta really fucking dig the knife and really be like, motherfucker, let me fucking surpass you now. She was like, I gotta surpass this dude now. And boy, did she. It's like, The thing that's even more beautiful is that she was like, I'm not doing this for you now. I'm doing this for me to prove that I got what it takes. That you may deem me as someone that's not valuable, but I'm going to show you how valuable. Like she even said, I'm going to show you how valuable else could be. And I'm like, girl, snap, snap, snap. I think a really harmful stereotype when it comes to pretty privilege is that people assume that you just received everything with little to no effort. And that could be true in a lot of cases. A lot of influencers we see nowadays, they have a lot of their success and they really haven't earned it compared to a lot of other people that worked even harder and hasn't gotten that type of success. That can be true in some cases. However, Elle proved everyone wrong, because the thing is, of course, before she even transitioned into going into law school, she had a lot of wealth. She has a lot of status. However, it's like when she got into law school, she was a fish out of water. Like the fact that her first class, she was kicked out because she was unprepared. It's like one could argue, oh my God, she got into law school. She used her pretty privilege and her wealth and status. But it's like, she got kicked out her first class. Like she got kicked out.
Elle Woods.
Actually, I wasn't aware that we had an assignment.
Do you think it's acceptable that Ms. Woods is not prepared?
No. I don't.
Would you support my decision to ask her to leave class and to return only when she is prepared?
Absolutely.
Like her pretty privilege only got her so far. It can legitimately only really get you pretty far. And she really thought, oh my God, like let me going into my first class in law school, I'm gonna sit there with my pink little fucking pen, my whole little cute little fit, and I'm just gonna succeed. When she really sat there and, really got embarrassed and realized, oh my God, like I came into class, didn't have anything prepared, didn't even have my computer. Like I'm out of my element. I'm a fish out of water. And it's like, the thing is, like I said, in situations like that, one can argue this is fucking embarrassing. I just got kicked out of my first day in class. Like, oh my God, I'm here trying to prove a point and I just failed. I just got kicked out. Like, should I just give up? No, she fucking kept going. The thing that's crazier in the conversation of pretty privilege is it is a double-edged sword, because there is a lot of benefits from pretty privilege that I feel like people start to really attach their self-worth to maintaining their appearance and feeling like it's the only valuable thing about you. However, I feel like Elle really did represent that there's just so much greatness that we possess that goes way beyond looks. And like I said, bouncing back to that first day in class, she could have just sat there and been like, oh my God, like, I'm just going to keep using my pretty privilege and, not really put in any effort to really get to where I want to be and just leech off of that. She sat there and said, no, like I am beautiful. I am bubbly. I am a likable person. I am confident, but I also have more greatness to unlock. And I love the fact that she sat there and did that, because I feel like a lot of people that struggle with pretty privilege are like, okay, fuck, myself, like my appearance is the only thing that's gonna get me everywhere. And it's like, no, like there's so many traits of you that you haven't even unlocked. Your appearance, you could use it to your advantage, and that's what Elle is doing, but there's so much more to be unlocked. But let's keep going. I think the most iconic scene, and everyone always talks about it, everyone quotes it, is the scene where Elle is getting a new computer. She's going to the library to stack up on books. She's focusing on just being the best in her class. And she really just showed the highest form of self-love, which is discipline. Anyone can have a pretty face. You right now can go watch a couple YouTube videos on how to glam the fuck up and look like a Victoria's Secret model, or to just look like a badass bitch, and you can do that. There's something that's just so attractive on being consistent on what you want, and that is so much more impressive than looks. Because like I said, you can go to a doctor and get some work done. You can go buy some makeup and watch a couple YouTube videos. That isn't that impressive. It's impressive, don't get me wrong, because that's an art within itself. But imagine the combination of that. That's the thing that's so cool about this film. And I think that a lot of women should really take this into consideration and really go move accordingly in their life with this knowledge of the fact that you can be both. You can have the looks that can get you really far, but then the brains, also the discipline. Oh, baby, you're going to be unstoppable. The thing that is really devastating that should be talked about when it comes to this film is the scene where Elle works really hard to prove her self-worth, but then there's a professor, Callahan. I think I'm saying it right. If I'm saying it wrong, then bitch, you know who I'm talking about. But he helped to give her, he was offering her that internship, which she felt like, oh my God, I worked really hard for this. This is amazing. Like, all of my hard work is paying off, and all the discipline that I have, it's rewarding me with this opportunity for this internship. But then she then further realizes that he actually just wanted to hook up with her. Like, he came on to her and she's like, what the fuck? That's offensive. Because now you're basically telling me that that was the only thing that you saw in me for this beautiful opportunity is, oh, if I hook up with her and stuff like that, let me use her to give her this advantage. And it's sad. It's a double-edged sword, because there is a lot of cases where people that will take that opportunity and sacrifice their morals for an amazing opportunity like that. And it's sad because it becomes a dangerous cycle of pretty privilege where people just feel like they could take advantage of you because of your looks, just for you to get something that you want, instead of you challenging yourself and really just trying to be the better version of yourself. A lot of people want that quick gratification of like, okay, well, I don't really got to work as hard for this thing if all I got to do is like sleep my way around because this person thinks I'm attractive and wants me to sacrifice my morals for me to get this opportunity. It's sad because it's a dangerous cycle in pretty privilege where people are like, okay, for me to get to the top, my looks, people are attracted to me, so let me use that to my advantage. No. Imagine you not even having to do that, and you still got what the fuck you wanted. You don't gotta sacrifice your morals, and that's the fucked up cycle of pretty privilege, that people think that they have to. You don't. And Elle's a big example of that. The most satisfying part about the whole entire film is the fact that that same professor in the beginning that kicked Elle out of her first class, she looked down at her. You could tell. She was like, this dumb blonde bitch is sitting here unprepared as fuck in Harvard. How the fuck? Who let her in these doors? I know she was talking hella shit in her head. I wish I could I really want to know what the fuck she was thinking, because you could tell she was talking hella shit. But the way that Elle, fast forward, is she's graduating Harvard Law, and this professor is congratulating her and really was like, yo, like, you amounted to someone I never really thought you were going to be. Like, you proved there's nothing so beautiful, and the best thing anyone can accomplish in life is proving people wrong. And it's something that was so beautiful that she worked so hard for. I think it's just so beautiful that she sat there, was like, okay, all these people are looking down at me. They don't respect me. They just think I'm this pretty girl who got into Harvard. People are probably side-eyeing her how the fuck she even got in there, because people don't know how intelligent, how great she is yet. So she had to prove a lot of people wrong. She had to look stupid as fuck in the beginning to get to where she's at. That takes a lot of confidence, a lot of power within yourself that you have to unlock and to just keep going through to get there. And the thing that's even more iconic, which I really do love this film, because for me personally, whenever I go through a big heartbreak, I love this film, because it's the way that obviously initially the whole part of her even getting into this school, for her unlocking all the greatness that she realized that she had within herself, was the fact that she did all this for a guy. Which ironically, fast forward, the same guy that said, oh, she's not serious enough, she's not fit for the lifestyle that he wants, and that she's just not wifey material. He graduated with no honors and no job, whereas Elle surpassed him. She surpassed him and started dating this guy, Emmett, that she fell in love with in school, and now is gonna propose to her, which, if he wanted to, he would, ladies. But that's just so crazy to me. And I think it's such a beautiful film. I love this film when I'm going through a heartbreak, because sometimes when we like fall in love with someone, we get lost in the sauce, you might say. I feel like a lot of us forget the greatness that we hold, because we make a man great. I'm sorry. Like, a lot of these men, like, of course there is great men out there, but then the ones that are really fucking shitty, the ones that we put in a high pedestal, bitch, you made them great. Elle, all that we unlocked and saw from her in this entirety of the film, she always had that within herself. She's a badass bitch. She was great. But she lost her greatness thinking that a guy was greater than her. No. And I feel like that's the most beautiful thing about this film is we got to see her go through this challenge. Because really unlocking yourself, it is fucking scary. It's a lot that goes along with it. You unlocking yourself, you really realizing the fucking potential that you really hold. It's a lot of uncomfortableness you're going to have to go through. A lot of uncomfort. A lot of just challenges you're going to have to experience. But the payoff is so worth it. Now, without further ado, let's discuss how Elle used her pretty privilege. So, the iconic law admission video really is a big indicator of how she used her pretty privilege to her advantage. Because, of course, she's using this tight bikini and she's, just looking very, very hot, very beautiful, very bimbo-y with her outgoing personality. And her using that while also showcasing all of her accomplishments, which a lot can argue a lot of her accomplishments, which that's what they really showed in the film, was that a lot of her accomplishments didn't really correlate with Harvard Law. One can argue that she really did get into Harvard Law because, let's face it, when you're attractive, you're bubbly, and you're confident, you're immediately gonna have people turn heads. Without a doubt. Like, I'm sorry, let's talk, like, that's just the truth. That's the truth, is when you walk into a room and you're walking with your chest forward, your shoulders high, and you're just walking in there like you're ready to light up the whole fucking room. Your voice takes space in the room. People are going to naturally gravitate towards you. Why? Because that really is uncommon, believe it or not. Like, a lot of people, when they walk into the room, some people will look down. They get nervous when eyes are on them. So that's why people gravitate towards someone who is fearless, who is comfortable within themselves to just really, really run into the room and fucking run that bitch. So my point with that in the law admission video is the fact that, of course, like I said, if she's walking in there being like, hi, I'm applying to Harvard Law. And of course, everything she's indicating wouldn't be the standard way to apply to like Harvard Law. But there's a lot of confidence in that. That's intriguing. And I feel like there's a confidence with her being intriguing with that. And then also her looks. And then her just the way that she was just comfortable to fucking just be herself when a lot of that video really is just not, one could argue, professional for an admission to Harvard Law. But the way that she just did it anyway, of course she used her advantages, was pretty privilege. And then there's also the harmful stereotype where people feel like, oh, having brains and beauty cannot coexist. And I feel like with her, she just knew that, okay, when I walk into a room, I am already having eyes on me. So how can I turn this into a way where I can use this to my benefit? Where if eyes are on me, people are just going to think I'm just pretty and that I'm just cute to look at. But I got to showcase my depth now. So she knew how to do both. And that's the thing, because you can't have both. There's the harmful stereotype when it comes to pretty privilege that you can't have both. That you could only be pretty, but you can't be smart. You can be both, but you got to know how to use both. Because you can walk into a room and have eyes on you, but people can look at you and lust over you or just think that you're pretty to look at. But to have people to want to look at you and admire your beauty and also hear what you have to say, you got to know how to do both. And I really do think that Elle knew how to execute doing both. Thing that really did ruffle my feathers, I don't know if anyone feels the same way, but when it comes to people underestimating the knowledge that people have when it comes to beauty and feeling like it's irrelevant or it's useless, it pisses me off because like people always look to her like, okay, what the fuck can this bitch bring into Harvard? Like her having her intense knowledge when it comes to beauty and fashion. What the fuck can she bring to the table? And look at her. She solved the whole case because a girl had she just got a perm and she was, contradicting herself, being like, oh, I went into the shower and I was washing my hair. And then Elle was like, how the fuck did you wash your hair when you just got a perm? Because then everything would have been fucked up. And your hair looks perfectly fine to me, ma'am. She figured that all out because of the knowledge that she had with beauty. And that's the thing that really does bother me, because there is a stereotype when it comes to beauty knowledge. Like, for example, people saying makeup artists or hairstylists, that's not a job. That's not really not a job. When it's like, bitch, first of all, when you're a makeup artist or even a hairstylist, you got to know color theory. That is useful in many ways in life. And also having like being a makeup artist, having having a lot of knowledge when it comes to ingredients, when it comes to makeup, knowing skin types, skin ingredients, bitch, you're not fucking stupid for knowing that. That's something that's really interesting and really useful to have in your life. And it's like, of course, when it comes to beating the face, there's a lot of discipline. It's a lot of discipline and a lot of greatness on knowing how to beat your face and doing your makeup. Like, that is impressive. It's impressive. And I love the fact that people look down on her. Like, okay, you can, you know a lot of fashion, you know a lot of makeup. What the fuck did you bring to the table? And look what she did. She solved the whole case. If that doesn't indicate to you, for anyone out there who's a makeup artist or hairstylist and people say that your job is not a real job, tell them to go eat shit. And to fucking eat it with a spoon at that. Because it's like, the fuck, it is a real job. But it is impressive. And she is the biggest indicator that it's like, you can be useful anywhere you go. You just gotta make yourself useful. And I think that's the most beautiful thing. And overall, I feel like Elle knew that she had pretty privilege and she knew how to use it. But she used it as a tool, not something that she heavily relied on and depended on. I think it's a really big, interesting conversation when it comes to pretty privilege, because there's so many disadvantages to it, but there's also a lot of benefits. And I feel like that's why Elle, she was the perfect example of you can be both. You can be beautiful and you can still be really great. Because we see a lot of the time when it comes to people that have pretty privilege, sometimes it's just seen with so many disadvantages. Sometimes that shit really does hit you, and then you feel less than. You feel like people don't see you as a real person. Because like I said, when you're pretty on the face, a lot of people just want to look. They don't want you to talk. They don't think that you hold anything interesting from within. And I think that's a beautiful thing about Elle, is when it comes to the manifestation, because she was a manifesting queen. You cannot tell me otherwise. She was a heavy manifesting queen. And it's like, you can attract anything you want out of this life. So don't create these negative beliefs thinking, okay, if I'm pretty, then that's all that I'm good for. If, for me to want all these great things out of my life, people are just going to want me to sacrifice my morals, stand 10 toes and say no. Say no. Like, Elle, like, no, I am not gonna do that. I'ma still get what the fuck I want and not have to sacrifice my morals, because I'm a great person. I'm great. I have a lot of greatness to give that goes beyond my appearance. There is a lot of greatness that a lot of us women hold beyond your appearance. You just gotta unlock it. You have to go through a lot of uncomfortable experiences, a lot of trials and tribulations, but you know what? When you get there, the reward is beyond the uncomfortable feelings that you have to experience. So with all that being said, that is everything for the conversation of the beautiful side of pretty privilege and how to use it to your advantage. I hope you guys really enjoyed this conversation. I really just want a lot of my episodes to really help women really realize their worth when it comes to relationships, when it comes to just all the greatness that we have, that we forget that we have. Because there's so much misogyny in the world where we really forget that there's bitch, we run the world. A lot of us run the world. The world there would be nothing without women. There literally would not be life without women. And I feel like a lot of us tend to forget the greatness that we possess and how powerful we could really be. And I really hope that my episodes can remind women around the world who are listening or watching that, bitch, you are that bitch girl. And don't let anyone, not even a man, especially not a man, tell you otherwise. So yeah. With all that being said, that is everything. I just want to vent to you guys a little bit. My next episode, my best friend is going to be coming on. So there's a lot we're going to be talking about with the dating life, our friendship, and how to keep a long-term friendship, and all the trials that we have gone through and why our friendship has been long going, and all the things that I feel like a lot of people need to know to be holding a long-term friendship. So if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe down below, because it'll be my next episode. But I just want to vent a little bit, okay? By the way, cheers. I got this cute wine glass from Goodwill. Honestly, like, if I drink and it kills me, It's really cute. So at least I thought it was style. But oh my god, you guys, I've been really like trying to save, really been trying to pay off my debt. And it's been really frustrating because life without shopping is so depressing. Like, what the fuck what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, I make money and I'm not like spending it on myself. This is so fucking crap. Like, I literally got so fed up that I grabbed my manifesting journal and I'm like, I'm gonna start manifesting money coming my way. I can't do this anymore. The struggle life is just not for me. Like, look at me. Do I look like somebody that should be struggling financially? I should not. I should not. But yeah, I've been trying to like beat the code, and I'm like, try to like break the system and be like, okay, I still want to spoil myself, but like on a budget, budget. Like, I went to Goodwill for the first time in a while because the location from where I'm at, the Goodwill had a fire and they closed down for a minute, and I didn't even know they opened until like someone mentioned it at work. So I was like, oh my god, I have to go. Like, I used to be there every other day. So I went in, y'all. I was like, the universe had me by the damn pussy lips, bitch, this whole fucking weekend. It really did. So the pants that I'm wearing right now that are so fucking cute, there was a top that came with it, and I was gonna wear that, not this top, which a part of me is like, I might as well wear it because the conversation is pretty privileged, and this is something Elle would wear. Like, I really wanted to give off like Elle having a slumber party and talking to you guys. But yeah, like, it really just like pissed me off because I really did have a fucking top that goes with this fucking pajamas. Like, it's like light pink. Like, I've been really I love rose gold. That's like my favorite color. Like, a light pastel pink is my shit. It's my shit. And I saw this cute pair of pants and top, and I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be so nice, because if you saw from my last episode, I was wearing like the Hello Kitty pajamas, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so cute. Like, it's so comfortable. Like, I don't realize, like, there's a lot of times where I sleep naked or I just sleep with like a really big t-shirt, but I'm like, sleeping like when you're feeling cute, it's different, y'all. Like, when you have like a cute pajama set, it's like satin and it's cute. It's like, I loved it. I'm like, I need another set. Let me go to Goodwill and see what they got. I found the cutest set ever. I go check out. It was my fault that I went in 30 minutes before closing because I didn't realize what time they closed. So I was like, oh fuck. So I went in 30 minutes before and started hunting to see what I can find, and I saw the cute pajama set. So I'll go in there. I'm checking out. I don't know if I left it on the counter. Like, I really want to say that can't be possible, because I feel like they would have said something like, yo, you forgot whatever at the counter, like when I was checking out. But I walk out, I go into my car, and I did have to walk a little bit because I had to park a little far away. And I'm walking in there. It's a bit windy. It's dark and it's late at night. And I go home. And by the way, I bought like this cute long black coat, and then I bought the two pajamas. Why the fuck I go home and all I see is the black coat and the pajama pants? I'm like, I literally started like looking under my fucking car. I'm like, did it go in my fucking like under the seat? Like, what the fuck happened? And then my best friend's like, just drive back because it just happened. Like, you just got home, so maybe it could still be there. I drive there and it's nowhere to be found. I go the next day and I ask them if anyone turned it in or if anyone saw anything. They're like, no. And I'm like, ah! I was so sad, you guys. I really could have wore it today, and I probably would have looked even more in the aesthetic that I was trying to accomplish. But I still feel like I got something done. I just self-tanned, so I'm literally transitioning right now. I wonder if I'm getting darker, like from the beginning of the episode to like the end. I don't know if I got darker. But yeah, I took 2 fucking hours doing my hair, and that made me want to become violent. But I'm like, I have to stick with the image that I have, and I really feel like the top would have completed everything, and I'm so sad. I'm so fucking sad. So much has gone when it comes to this weekend. I went on a date, but I want to talk about that and say that for the next episode. It was such a successful date, you guys. Stay tuned for that. There's so much to talk about in regards to my personal life, but I needed to vent about that. And I was so sad that I lost my pants. I really got in my feelings about it. It's literally $3. Like, Ali, like, relax. It was a $3 top, but I was still fucking sad as shit. So I went back, obviously, to ask if they saw or anyone turned in the top. They said no. So I found these cute little wine cups. There was like 3, but this one really spoke to me that I really wanted to use it today for drinking my wine. And it cheered me up a bit. It cheered me up a bit, but I am still fucking sad because I feel like I really would have slayed with that top. But maybe the universe is like, we have to let this fucking top fly out of her fucking arm without her realizing, because maybe I would have been too powerful for this episode. maybe you guys wouldn't have even heard a word that I said because you guys would have been so distracted by how fire my fit is. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that is everything for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening. If you're listening to this on Spotify, make sure to give it a 5 stars rating. Help me keep these lights on. And obviously download it because it fucking helps. If you are watching this on the YouTube podcast channel, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions. Even if you want to say I'm a dumb bitch, just comment, bitch. Even if it's an emoji, comment down below. Helps the analytics, okay? Help the analytics. And yeah, with all that being said, I love you guys so much. Do you guys love the gang? If you notice, I brought out more Squishmallows. There's such a funny story behind the purple one. A guy gave it to me and he treated me like shit. And ironically, he just added me on my private Instagram like a couple days ago. And I'm like, fuck you. But I have this weird thing when it comes to stuffed animals. If you break my heart, I'm not going to abandon my stuffed animals. Like, I just can't throw them away because then I feel like I'm abandoning a child. And they're already going through a divorce with their parents. I don't know if I'm just the only person that's like that. I don't know. But yeah, I love you guys so much. And thank you guys so much for watching. And for the people that tune in all the way to the end, I love you guys more than you'll ever know. I cannot wait to see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.